Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. You all know I love sharing my secrets of how I went from $17,000 a year to a multimillionaire. My top essential tool for managing my two successful businesses, plus my crazy life, is my paper planner. But not any random planner, specifically my Inner Guide yearly planner. The Inner Guide planner doesn't just organize my schedule, it helps me map out and discover my goals, dreams, self-care, and keeps my millionaire mindset on track. I want you all to get planning right away for 2019. So I arranged to get a special Inner Guide discount exclusive to my ProjectME posse. Go pick out your favorite yearly planner at inner-guide.com. And at checkout, use the code ProjectME 15% off, and you will receive 15% off your entire order. If you are driving or multitasking and can't write this down, the Inner Guide link and code is in my Instagram bio at ProjectME with Tiffany. And remember, as I always say, you are either planning for success or heading to failure. You are listening to the podcast ProjectME with Tiffany Carter. You guys, I love bringing on guests that squash the common excuses and limiting beliefs people have around making big money and designing a life they love. Two of the common limiting beliefs I hear are, I don't have the time, I'm too busy raising my kids. So I asked my friend Cayla Craft to come on the show to share how she does it all. She's a mom of 3 little ones, founder of Mommy Millionaire, and is now a best-selling author. Hey, Cayla!
That seems so weird to hear still. I'm like so excited. Oh my gosh. Thank you for having me on.
Of course. I'm so excited for you. So first off, for people in my audience who aren't familiar with you, would you mind giving like a brief version of your story? Like you didn't just all of a sudden become a millionaire. So what happened?
Yeah. So I'll in order to understand why I'm so driven, I kind of have to take you all the way back. Is that okay if I do that?
Of course.
So I grew up with a dad in jail. He was a drug addict, and my mom was a single mom. And she worked really hard to make ends meet for our family and still ended up declaring bankruptcy. And we moved all the time because we were getting evicted from place to place. And that made me at a very young age desire stability financially. And so I chose to become a nurse because I went to a high school, low poverty high school, and they offered nursing skills. So I could go through and get my school paid for and everything. And so I was like, yes, healthcare is the way to go. I'm always going to have a job. I became a nurse and loved it. And then I started having kids and then didn't love it because I was like, I can't do shift work. I need to be at home with my kids. So when I was 23, I was introduced to network marketing, selling health and wellness supplements, which I know you love them. And I had an emotional attachment to these products, like where they physically changed my life because I had always been a yo-yo dieter. So it was very easy for me to start sharing these products and build a business. I met the founders of the company and said, I'm going to be a millionaire with you guys. And in 3 years, I became a millionaire because of a lot of hard work, was still working full-time as an ER nurse, and just was so committed to being financially free that I did whatever it took to make that happen. And long story short, I fell in love with being an entrepreneur and created Mommy Millionaire, where we have a podcast. Now we have an Instagram agency and also a sales agency. So we're doing lots of things over here.
What the hell is an Instagram and a sales agency? Tell me.
Yes. Okay. So we have an Instagram agency where we grow people's followings. And so there's so many agencies out there. You guys probably get it on the regular in your DMs, people saying, let me grow your Instagram for you, right? Well, those people are usually using some type of software. And so we use real humans to help you grow your account. And not just for followers' sake. We do it to actually like find your ideal client. And bring those people into your followings. And so we do that. A sales agency is, for a while now, I've been doing middleman sales calls. And so what that is if somebody has a high ticket offer, I will get on the phone and sell it for them. And I take a commission for that. And so I've been doing that for a while, and I decided, you know what? I am getting too busy. I needed to now train other people how to do the same thing. So we're actually in the process right now. I have a couple people in my first cohort, and I'm creating a whole certification process with that. So that takes a lot of my time, but I'm super freaking passionate about it. And yeah, so that's what it is. I mean, that's one of the things.
Wow. Well, God, you're just absolutely like hammering home my whole point and debunking the whole myth because, so many people, it's really easy. And listen, I don't have kids, but if I did, I would have used them as an excuse too. When I was in that zone of always having an excuse, right? That's an easy excuse. I do have a chronic health condition, right? So that could be an easy excuse of mine. We all have something. But then there's some that are just so socially acceptable where people go, oh, totally. And one of those is kids, and another one is a chronic health condition like I have. So what do you say when you're working with moms where I'm sure you hear that come out of their mouths all the time? I just don't have time. I'm too tired, Cayla, dealing with the kids. What do you have to say to that? Because you're someone who's done it and you have 3.
You know what? I used to think those people are losers. I'm just being honest. And, I know you're all about honesty, so that's how I am too. And I just be like, gosh, you're such a loser. But now I have a different train of thought. Not everybody can be as highly productive as me. And I get that. And so I love people for where they are. For me, my kids will do what I do. The reason why I work so hard is I saw my mom work so hard. She happened to work 12-hour shifts every single day. I started watching my little brother when I was 8 years old, and I saw my mom work so hard and have nothing to show for it. And that is why I work so hard. My brother works hard. We just have a family of really hard workers, and I don't want my kids to just look at me because right now I could just sit back and chill, right? And have an amazing life, ocean view home, and have my kids be spoiled, rotten brats. I don't want that. And so I know I don't want my kids to not know hard work. I want them to see mommy working hard. I want them to learn from me. I want them to see that there are so many options out there in the world that if you just are creative enough, you can always make money and help a lot of people in the world. I always talk about my kids to that. We actually have blessing bags in our car. We see homeless people. We have a bag full of socks, water, protein bars, and what else is in there? Toothbrush and toothpaste that we give out to people. So we're always like talking to the kids about giving back because we've been blessed. We need to give. And I just want my kids to be highly productive people. I don't want them to just be like I like the people I see out there. You know what I mean? So that's also what drives me. And so when I talk to moms that are like, oh, I'm just so tired. It's like, do you want your kids to say that when your kids are calling and asking you for money in 15 years because they can't pay the bills because they saw mommy be too tired? That's a bunch of bullcrap. That's what I say. So that's me. My kids will always be my why. They will never be my excuse. And I just get my kids involved in everything. My kids have been going on road trips and on airplanes since they were 2 months old, like going and learning and helping me teach entrepreneurs all around the world. So they've just seen it from a very young age. It excites them. If you ask them, what do you want to do? They want to be an entrepreneur.
So one of the things that drew me to you, and we just talked about this when you interviewed me for your podcast. So you guys got to go check out the Mommy Millionaire Podcast, is that we need to have a tribe in order to be able to elevate in our lives, both personally, professionally, financially, all the things. And I really trust my gut instinct, my intuition, because I've done the work to do so. Okay. Some very few people out of the gate have that amazing instinct and intuition. But one thing that really drew me to you, which I knew you'd be in my life. I'll put it to you like that. Not in a weird, like stalker way. I just know, and usually the feeling maybe not be mutual right away, but at some point it's like, okay, I get why I connected with Tiffany. Okay. And I know you feel that probably now, right?
Yeah.
So I have that feeling about you. One thing that you have that is so amazing to me is you seem like you have like boundless energy. And I know it's not an act. So what is it? Are you just someone who is naturally energetic? I mean, how in the hell do you just keep going all day long? I mean, listen, I can hang with the best of them, but I think you'd wear me out, girl.
Okay, that is like honestly the number one question I get asked. And it all comes back to this because I have my days where I'm just like not even tired. It's more just I want to cry because I give so much of myself all the time. And I'm always like wearing my heart on my sleeve kind of. And I told my husband this, I said, I'm kind of like a tormented soul. Okay. And what I mean by that is I have this it's not even a scarcity mindset. It's more of just, I am so allergic to being average that is my energetic source. I want to be so like up here, that's my driver every single day. And I just want to keep going and push my limits. I want to prove to myself every single day that I'm capable of more. And that actually gives me energy. And helping people, like I know a lot of people say, I just want to do this because I want to help people. I love helping people. I want to impact the world. But I would be lying to you if I said that's what drives me. What drives me is seeing my capacity. And that's just the truth.
Right. Like, yes, we want to help people, but mama wants to take, luxury trips and live in the home that I want to live in too, so we got to keep it real. And you're entitled and worthy and allowed to have all of it. You don't have to, sometimes, especially as women, we're like, I just want to help people. I'm a healer. And then we get weird around the money thing or asking for people to pay us or pay us what we deserve to be paid. Did you ever have any struggles with that in terms of, pricing things or people working with you?
I think I struggled with it the opposite way, where I charged way too much and hadn't proved myself yet. And I know that sounds weird because most people, I just really highly regard myself and I still do. But I think in the beginning, it's kind of like you have this, like, you can't just go out of the gate saying, I'm going to charge $5,000 an hour and have nothing to show for it. You know what I mean? Like you kind of have to go, well, I helped this person and this person. And this is now why you should pay me that because I help people change their life. So, and I think most people do the opposite. They go, let me just do everything for free, right? Because they don't value their time. And so I always say, do your first two things for free. Get a good, case study underneath your belt so you can share it out there with the world. And, as long as you get permission from them, and then go and charge and be competitive. Because now if I look at people and I go, oh my gosh, well, this coach charged me $2,500 a month, but this coach only charges $100 an hour. I look at this there and go, what am I missing here? Because I'm going to do whatever I can to get the coach that's $2,500 a month. So you want to be competitively priced. You don't want to underprice because you'll actually miss out on really quality people because that's the mind trick that's going on. So I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, I mean, I know it helps me. And you guys listening, do me a favor. It takes you 1 second. Take a screenshot and you can always post it later to your stories. But make sure you tag Cayla.craft and then, of course, me at ProjectME with Tiffany. This way we know if the stuff you're learning on this episode actually helped you at all. And then, that helps us out. So we're not just talking just to talk, given that we just completely had a conversation about valuing time. We value yours too. Right? It's I love talking to you, girl, but we want to make sure that you guys are getting something out of it. So I'm going to ask you what I imagine most of my listeners would want to know. And the first thing is, with having 3 kids, and I want to say, forgive me for being blunt, but I don't feel I need to say that with you, is a brunt of the work, meaning the breakfast and the driving to school and sports, does that fall on your husband or a nanny or something like that? How is this time management thing working?
So you guys are going to, so I'm an anomaly. Okay. I don't have a nanny and my husband actually doesn't live here during the week. So, I do all of that by myself. So I wake up at 5 a.m. this morning I actually woke up at 4 a.m. because my body was just like, you're getting up. So I started reading Marianne Williamson, like I always do every morning, Return to Love, and got my day going. I get the kids to school. I'm out the door by 7 a.m. They go to school all early. I'm like, mommy's got things to do. They're like, what school is there? I'm like, nope, you're going at 7:30. I got everybody there. And then I have to go pick them up as soon as we're done with this. We'll pick them up. Then we're off to hockey, dinner, done. And I actually have it scheduled in my calendar for time with kids. So I don't schedule anything in. And I mean, I'm just very hyper focused. Like when the kids are at school, it's back to back to back to back to back. I got things going on. That's how I get everything done. If it's not scheduled, it's not going to happen. I do a lot of time blocking. So like Thursdays and Fridays are for my network marketing business. Tuesdays are my podcast days. So I have everything and I don't even want to say it like, I know it sounds like I'm very organized, but I'm not a type A personality. That's just highly productive people. You have to write everything down because you'll just waste freaking time if you're not doing it. So I know people go, oh my gosh, what the heck? Your husband doesn't even, yep. That's my life right now. And it's a blessing. I get to do all of those things. And when my kids are at ice hockey for 2 hours, half the time, they're my youngest two are sleeping in the car while my oldest is playing. So I'm in the car and I get some work done then, or I just read a book. But I think we hallucinate about all these things about, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have time to do this. And all these things are so freaking hard. Well, your life is what you say it is, right? So I believe my life is freaking fun. I'm an amazing, efficient person, and I can be an amazing mom. I can be an amazing wife. I can be an amazing friend, and I can be an amazing businesswoman at the same time. And those are what I believe. Those are the stories I tell myself every single morning and throughout the day when situations happen that want to test me, and everything's an opportunity. And so that's what I say, is that people are just telling themselves the wrong freaking stories. And I'm living proof.
It's so, see, that's why I brought her on. This is why I bring my guests on, because now in your head, I know what's going to happen when it comes out of your mouth or in your head and you're like, oh, I'm so tired of the kids. In your head, it's going to pop up. Oh crap. There's this chick, Cayla Craft, out there who's making it happen. No nanny. And the reason I brought up the nanny or the husband staying at home, nothing's wrong with the hubby staying at home. The reason I brought that up is people also make assumptions when they see someone like Cayla or someone like me and nothing's wrong with having a nanny either, by the way. If it wasn't for my nanny, I might be dead. I mean, I had like the nanny from like the movie Help that told me I was good enough and all that. Thank God for her. So there's nothing wrong with nannies. But my point is, like, you'll see someone like her and you make all these assumptions. You have no idea what the hell is true or not. And so I want that to debunk that limiting belief from your head. I am a scheduler too. And I learned from a mutual friend of ours, a new friend of mine, Dr. Jen. I thought I was a type A because I don't know. I guess I didn't really know what it meant. And I'm not. I'm similar to you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you do have to schedule it. You do have to time block, all those things. Okay. Yep. The second thing, burning thing, I know people are going to want to know. I have a ton of people who follow me that want to get into network marketing or who started side hustling with it. And it's slow to grow. And they think they're doing something wrong. They're racking their brain. They're not sure what the hell to do. So can you take people through, at least for starters, your early years? I think you said you started at 23 while you were still working, right?
Yep.
Like, how did that look? Like, how did you grow this? So people know, like, what's a fair and reasonable expectation? Like, what does it take?
So I always like to tell people this: in network marketing, you have to be committed to the long-term game. Okay. And I honestly, when I bring people onto my team, I try to scare them out of joining me. And what I mean by that is I tell them that it's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done in your life, and tell them all of the things that could go wrong. Your family's not going to like you. You're going to lose friends. I mean, I lay it on the line. And the reason why I do this is because there's too many people out there in network marketing right now that are telling you it's easy and all you have to do is post with your little swipe up feature and you're going to get people and you're going to build $1 million business. They're lying to you. Okay. Network marketing is hard and it's actual work. And people that say it's not a real business, they're ignorant. Okay. I'll just tell you that because it's very hard, especially having people not take you serious. So you have to be committed to the long-term game. And when I had an amazing mentor when I got in, and she said, Cayla, give me 2 to 5 years and I promise you'll be a millionaire. And so she said, do X, Y, and Z every single day and you will be there. And so I didn't go to bed at night unless these things were done. And this is very, very simple. And you guys are going to go, that's it? Yeah, that's really it. And so many of you guys, you get in, you try to reinvent the wheel. You think you have a new special way, even though you've never done network marketing before, and you fail. And then you talk crap about it because it didn't work for you because you thought it was going to happen in 6 months. So I'm just going to tell you right now, this is what works. It's what's always going to work. The way you bring in people might be different, but this is what works. It's reaching out to 3 new people every single day and asking them to take a look at your company and the opportunity. It's following up with 3 people every single day, and it's meeting 3 new people to bring into your network every single day. Those are the daily consistent actions that it takes. Look, that's not rocket freaking science, but I don't take a day off, right? So I'm doing that day in and day out. And 3 years into my business, I became a millionaire. Okay. So that's what it looks like. Okay. It's all about consistency and knowing that, you know what? Don't quit your day job, right? So many people get into network marketing and they're like, let me freaking, burn the ship. And that's the last thing you need to do because we talked about this before, that when you're desperate, people can smell it. And so that's actually why I stayed working as a nurse and I was making $600,000 a year as a network marketer. And then I finally decided, maybe it's safe for me to quit my job now.
Maybe it's safe after $600,000. That's great.
And that was like the second year I had made that much money. And I just, but also at that time too, I became unemployable. Like there was no way I was ever going to not be an entrepreneur again. I had so many skills from being a network marketer. And it's a great way to continually meet people and bring people into your network marketing business. So people quit their job too soon and then they find themselves desperate. You don't want to do that.
So diving a little deeper into your 3 things. And listen, when people say, oh, how did you become a multimillionaire? Well, that's actually simple too, but there's also, but it's not pretty. It's a lot of work, right? You have to do it when you feel like crap, when you're in a bad mood, when some drama happened in your life, and listen, I'd say 50% of the time, I don't feel like it, but I do it anyway. I mean, Seriously, if I waited to feel like it, it would not, would never get done. I'd be living in a tent. Thank you. Right. So when you say like going to, 3 new people a day, like I love numbers in that sense. So I get the numbers, but people go, okay, Cayla, like, well, what do you mean 3 new people? Like just, I go and find like 3 random people and like kind of bother them and follow up with them and like try to get them on the phone. Is that what you're saying?
Right. So no, so the 3 new people is just bringing people into your network. So these are people that you just want to bring into your network. You're not going to talk to them about your company right away. And that's what happens is people don't have a big enough network. And so they're pushing these products and their opportunity too quickly instead of just attracting the right people in at the right time. But if you have a large network, once you come out with the fact that you have an opportunity, you could be talking to different people every single day. And so even if you don't have a network marketing business right now, you need to be working on growing your network every single day. How do I add more value to more people's lives? Because you never know when you're going to need a network. Okay. And so what I would do is go to fitness classes. Okay. I know that sounds weird, but I still go to fitness classes every single day. That's a great way to meet people that are like me, that care about their health. And, I kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I get my exercise in and I do that. I used to, when I was first building my business, I would go to 2 classes a day. You could take the kids to 2 hours a day. So I go 1 in the morning, 1 at night, and you get to meet people. So there's always a way you can become really resourceful. And people like freak out when I say I've only been to 2 networking events in my whole life because I don't like them.
They give me a rash. I hate them.
Yeah, I don't like them. And so most of the time I found that those people aren't really people I want to be hanging out with. So I go and try to find things that I like. So if I'm into social media, which I freaking love social media, I'll go to a social media event, and just learn about what's trending in Instagram, or go to Brendan Burchard events. Like just go wherever the people are going to be. And I have those things, again, scheduled in, right? So I already have 2019's already done, right? Like I already have it completely booked out. So, because I already know ahead of time, how do I grow my network? How do I do this? And I know I have to schedule those things in. So, you have to invest in yourself. And if people go, oh my gosh, well, it's nice for you. I can't afford to even go to fitness classes. Go sell your couch, like whatever you need to do. I mean, you don't need a couch. You have a bed if you need to sleep on.
Yeah,
something.
that one doesn't ever work on me because you can sell stuff, and also there are actually a lot of free fitness meetups, especially for moms too. I mean, you don't even have to be a mom. Like one of my friends does one, and it's a stroller, like a group of moms that do the stroller thing. I went one time. They didn't care that I was a mom. What does it matter? I didn't even have a stroller. Who gives a shit?
I love it.
I mean, so it's when we start believing these lies we tell ourselves, it's a bad effect. It doesn't work. The good news is you can tell yourself something different and have a different result in terms of that. So when people ask you, okay, like I like doing kind of role plays for people.
Yeah,
so
I'm all about that.
Because your network marketing business is aligned in the health sector, right? So it makes sense that you're in fitness classes. So you're in a fitness class. Let's just say it's early on, right? You're not like Mrs. Cayla Craft like you are today. You're early on. You're talking to someone, and eventually someone goes, "Oh, like what do you do for work?" How do you answer them?
So now I just say I'm a network marketer. Before I was kind of scared to say that because I was like, oh, there's this like weird stigma. But that was also a story I was telling myself. And so what I found probably about 2 years into my business, I was making six figures, but still nobody knew who I was, right? I found out most people don't know what network marketing is. So I'd say I'm a network marketer, and they'd say, "Oh, okay, cool, awesome. Where'd you go to school?" And I was like, "Well, actually, I went to school for nursing." I'm like, "Do you know what network marketing is?" And they'd go, "No." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'll have to send you some info sometime. It's so fun. I work from home now." And I would just like say stuff like that. Most people, we get so caught up on like, and I've even been to events where they like they help you craft what to say. I help people lose weight and fill up their bank accounts or whatever. I'm like, okay, that's so freaking weird. I'm not going to say that to anybody. It's just like, I really want to raise the professional standards in network marketing. And I want people to be proud of the fact that they're a network marketer. And so I go around loud and proud, and I want to educate people all day long on what it is, because it's just direct sales. It's just like when you were in pharmaceutical sales. There's no difference here. And people think that there's some difference. I mean, there might be a difference. I don't know how it worked with your cap on the income, but it's just, there's no cap. You just get paid for what you sell, and what your team sells. It's amazing.
Right. And, I teach that in order to maintain millionaire status and grow to be a multimillionaire, you need to have 5 to 7 different streams of income, meaning versus depending on your 9-to-5 job. And maybe you have like a little, retirement account or a savings account. And one of those streams of income that is pivotal is a residual income stream. Mm-hmm. And some people, I don't ever assume people know what something means, right? I didn't know at one time what a lot of things meant. So I'm sure you have a really good description of what residual income is. What is it?
Yeah. So residual income is income that comes from an asset that you built a long time ago. And so it's kind of like passive income is more like real estate, right? And so it's just like passive, you invest in something. Residual income is like you continually get paid for products and services being sold for you. So it's very easy. I mean, it's stuff that you did a long time ago, and it's an asset that you've created. So I have this asset of right now 63,000 people in this team that are customers that use products. And that's an asset because guess what? I can actually sell it to somebody, okay? And I can will it over to somebody as well. So it's already actually in the trust for my kids.
Interesting. I did not know that part. See, this is why I love podcasting and why I loved being a journalist. I always learn something new. I really didn't know that. That's a fair question because property, you can put I have my properties in a trust. Right. Yep. I have my financial accounts, like those are all set up if God forbid something happens to me. But what I didn't know is you built up that asset in your network marketing business that you could actually package and sell that your particular network marketing company allows that.
Yes.
So I just want to stress, right. I want to
Yeah.
stress that because not everyone does. And the other thing I want to say while we're on this network marketing thing, because I know a lot of you guys ask me about it, you have to be very careful of the company you partner with. Okay. I made a mistake, but I'm still a huge proponent that you have to have residual income as one of your streams if you want to become a multimillionaire and maintain that status. So I'm a huge believer, and I did all the wrong things. I didn't have a Cayla Craft to listen to. I got in with a company that was like like a startup company. I didn't do much research. I actually made a really good amount of money per month, but they went bankrupt. But that doesn't mean network marketing's bad, right? I didn't do my due diligence. I wasn't educated on that. You have to be can you speak to that? Like, what are some things to look for? Like, maybe they're not into the health and fitness world. So who you are partnered with might not work for them. So what should they look for?
So I would say that you want to go with a company that has founders that have network marketing experience. And this is so important because some companies, what happens is they screw you and they go public and they'll try to make it sound like it's a pretty deal. That's never a pretty deal for you. Okay. Because then you're competing with Amazon and it's a hot mess. Okay. So founders that have network marketing field experience, so that means they have built businesses in the field, know what it's like, and they are always going to build their business, the corporate side, with you in mind and always keeping you as the most important person. And so other companies, especially they might have a great product and they decide to go the network marketing route because it just makes sense, because it does make sense, but they're not, they don't know what it's like out there in the field. And so they might not have the best compensation plan. They might not have the best bonuses. They're going to think differently than you. And so I really respect, there's several companies out there that have founders that, have done it. Like for my company, the founder, she rose to the top of 3 different network marketing companies, and she was screwed over by one of them that went bankrupt as well. And so she knew, I will never do this. And so, you always want to look for that. You want to look for a company that has consumable products. And there's people out there that make a lot of money with things that are not consumable. But consumable means is that, it's something that they're going to have to reorder every single month. Okay. And that's very important because auto ship is the lifeblood of your business and any sales thing. That's how residual income happens. So if it's a one-timer thing, you might get a high bonus at it, but you're going to continually have to do something in order to get more money coming into your flow. So you want to have consumable products. And for me, I always like to find something that people are already using. This is just better, right? So if it's skincare or if it's health and wellness supplements, you want to make sure that it's trending as well. So there's baby boomers out there right now. So if you're an anti-aging, that's a really great product that is going to be around for everybody's looking how to get younger. And so that's smart. So you want to make sure that they are always on top of the trends. And another thing is you want to make sure you join with a debt-free company, right? Because there's a lot of companies out there that are not disclosing that information, and then something happens like that company, right? Another thing you want to look for is compliance. So just a couple years ago, I watched a company be in its height. It was booming. There was people all over the place talking about it on social media. People were making great money. And all of a sudden, one day they closed their doors. They got shut down by the FTC. And the FTC is the Federal Trade Commission. And then you also have the Direct Selling Association. So you want to make sure your company is monitored by both. And the reason they got shut down is because they were making claims that were not right and they were not true. And they had all of their associates making these claims saying, hey, buy this package and you're going to be a millionaire. So our company actually has 70 full-time legal people that watch all of our social media, making sure everybody's making compliant claims, and they will literally shut your account down if you're not compliant. So we're huge about that. There's a lot of other companies that are huge on it too, because if you're not compliant, because remember, no DSA companies are monitored by the FDA. So you can kind of make whatever claim you want, right? But until you can't. So you want to be compliant and you want to make sure you have a company that's making sure that nobody's saying things that are not true. Because that's one way to get shut down real quick.
These are so helpful, you guys. I mean, you're hearing from literally one of the best in the business, who grew this starting at 23 years old, has a family, has done all the things, and is, I love Cayla for being real with you guys. Why you don't need to make something to sell something, whether it's network marketing, whether it's a course, whether it's coaching, whether it's a car, whether it's jewelry, a t-shirt. You don't need to make something sound easy or make insane claims to get customers. You need to build credibility and transparency with people and be the leading authority. That's much more important than some BS claim, don't you think?
Yes. And my motto is always, the truth is always good enough.
Ooh.
It's always good enough.
You're filled with so many good quotes. I love it. So one of your big things, and I'm not sure if you've touched on this in your new book, which, by the way, you guys, it's on Amazon. You can download it on Kindle, and there's paperback too. What's the name of the book again?
The Habit of Leading Yourself. It's a 1-year guide to becoming unstoppable.
So there you go. I downloaded mine. I haven't started reading it yet, but it's more of a workbook, right? I'm obsessed with workbooks right now. Because I love, even though you're not interacting with a human, it's still interaction with yourself. I love getting prompted and all that stuff. So that's super freaking cool. And I'm all over the place. So now I need to go on to the book route. So first off, how did you do this? Because a lot of people have ideas to do some kind of book or a publication or a journal or something. How did you make this into a reality? Did you learn from a friend who was already a self-published author? Did you hire a team? How did you do this?
Okay, it's a funny story because I'm obsessed, and I know you watch my Instagram, so I do Pilates every day. And I'm sitting here with my new Pilates instructor doing a private with her, and she's stretching my leg, and she goes, "You really need to write a book." And I'm like, I know, but it's not the right time for me. She goes, "You know what? I have these friends that I bet you could look through all of your notes and you could hand them over to them and they could put the book together for you." And I thought, and she goes, "Well, what about," and I go, "I don't know about that." She goes, "What about she said you have so many good Instagram posts." She goes, "What about if you could come up with 52 ideas from just your Instagram posts and put that into a book?" And I was like, that's not a bad idea. And so she gave me the name of her friend who owns a publishing company. And I got on the phone with them and they said, "Hey, we'll do all of this for you. We're going to set up everything for you on Amazon and we'll do all the editing. You basically just have to write it, send it over to us." And I go, I'm not a writer. And she goes, "Well, why don't you just go onto rev.com and transcribe everything it'll transcribe everything for you from audio." And so I said, "All right, let's do it." And I did it in 1 week. And then the editing process took a couple months because I'm really a perfectionist. I wanted everything to look good. But that's really how simple it was. It was literally happened. People were like, "What? You wrote a book?" Because it happened that quickly. But what you guys should take away from that is I'm a go freaking getter. So it was one of those things. Everybody's been asking me to write a book for a long time. And it was when is it going to be a good time? You have 3 kids. When is it going to be a good time? And when Lisa, my Pilates girl, told me the 52 ideas thing, I said, "That's genius. I'm doing that." And so I just went home, called those people right away. And then I paid the money for them to do it. And then it was you have to show up. And so that always goes to when you have skin in the game, you'll show up, right? And so I paid right then. I paid full price. Just let's go make this happen. And so we did it. And now became a best-selling author literally in 45 minutes on Amazon. It was insane how my tribe came through. I was going to cry. I did cry. And it was so awesome. So really that simple.
I freaking love that. And, the word that comes to my mind is you're not just a go-getter, you're resourceful. Okay. Because this content stuff can be really overwhelming to people, regardless of what business you're in. All right. You're developing a personal brand, you're developing a company. This constant content creation can be the death of people, but you're resourceful. First off, you were open to hearing other people's opinions and ideas and opportunities, and you repurposed that content. Very smart, right? We don't always have to go back to the drawing board, you guys. Sometimes we just make things so much harder than they need to be.
100%. I mean, my Kendall, who's my assistant, I had to go to a speaking engagement in LA. So we always Uber up to LA because I don't like to drive. And because I like to work, right? I'm always looking for more ways to be efficient. And a lot of people go, "Gosh, doesn't that cost a lot of money?" Think about how much money you're losing right now by doing the things you don't need to do. First of all, just a little side note. On the way there, I pulled out my phone and went through the notes section and said, let's come up with the 52 ideas right now. And pulled up my notes and literally wrote all the titles that way on our trip to LA. And then it became way easier to just go and do, record myself talking about each topic. And then it was off to the races, So there's always a way.
There is always a way. So another thing that you are a big proponent of is having a tribe and surrounding yourself with people that maybe are like a couple levels ahead of you, maybe where you want to be, or have a vibe that like really, really elevates yourself. And one of the ways that you talk about doing that and creating that, like, so to speak, instant connection and support is through masterminding. A lot of people DM me when I mentioned your mastermind coming up in a story a couple weeks ago. I got questions asking me like, what is a mastermind anyway? Mm-hmm. So can you help people understand what the hell it is?
So I first was introduced to the concept by reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I love all of the concepts in that book. And he barely touches on it. And it's all about just collaborating with people and coming up with better ideas together. It's all about brain power. So it's just like if you're one brain working on an idea by yourself, it's very little energetic power. But we're actually we're energetic beings. We know that. We're affected by energy and vibrational things. So if you're in a room with high vibe people and their energy fields collide, it's higher energy working on the problem where you're going to have better freaking results faster. So what may take one brain 1 year to do could take 25 collective brains 1 month to do. So that's really what a mastermind is. And you want to get in a group where people are all very committed to collaboration. And so you don't want to get in the room, and it all depends also on the leader too, because I've been in a mastermind before where it's like, there's no networking really encouraged at all. It's kind of like, let me get on here and train you. I'm like, that's not a mastermind, that's group coaching, right? So that's not what I want to be a part. I mean, group coaching is fantastic. I'm not putting that down. But a mastermind is actually, you have to go out there and find your accountability partners, and the leader should put that together for you. And they should also be very, selective about who goes in the group. So we've had over 100 people apply, and I've only accepted about 15 people so far, just because I'm really looking for the right group of people. I don't want, some masterminds are great because you can go in and everybody's focused on health coaching, right? Those are great. But what I wanted mine to be was something very different. I want everybody to be doing something different. So everybody brings something different to the table, expertise-wise, because I want everyone to be thinking differently about how we solve problems together in business in 2019. So I'm going at it with a different angle.
I like that angle. That's my angle when hiring people. So my team for my parent company and for ProjectME with Tiffany, I hire people from all backgrounds. I don't just hire women. I get asked that a lot. Believe me, I'm a big supporter of women in business, but I'm an even bigger supporter of having different, unique perspectives that people of different ages, backgrounds, and demographics bring. So it sounds like that's your concept behind your mastermind. Is that right?
Yes, 100%.
So when people go to look at a mastermind and they, it is an investment, right? It's an investment. I mean, to work with someone like yourself, of course, isn't going to be like $1,000, nor should it be, right? So when people are trying to make that decision on a mastermind and they start going down that, money mindset path of, oh my God, that seems like, a big investment. That seems like a lot of money. What can you say to help people work through that?
I think you have to get very clear on where you want to go and the person you need to become in order to get there. And what you need to know is when you're an entrepreneur, your environment isn't like, it's not an option if you have a good one. It's essential to have a good one when you're going to that next level. And so it's really not an option. If you have to be involved in a mastermind to be around people that are going to help you think differently. And if you've never invested in any coaching or anything like that, if you're like, oh, I've just done it all by myself, that's fantastic. I like you. I love you. I think you're awesome for that. But also, what would happen if you actually did do that? How much faster would you get to your goal? Because when you're working alone, it just takes you longer. And that's just the facts of it, right? So when you bring in a tribe of people to collaborate with you and have your back, and an amazing leader that's going to keep your goals top of mind and push you when you want to give up, that's how you get there faster. So it's just, it's really a no-brainer for me. I'm going to be involved in 3 masterminds in 2019. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I know my network is my net worth. And being involved in the mastermind that I was in this year was amazing for the networking opportunities. A couple people spoke at my live event. A couple people I invested in companies with that are going to be freaking awesome. And so I've really learned that even though I might not be able to go to all the events, which I already know I'm not going to be able to, I'm doing it to be in the group. And so I highly value my groups. And everybody on the call should too, because every rich person I know, they mastermind. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing that.
Wow. 3 masterminds. That's a lot. That's impressive. Yeah. But I see what your point. That's an interesting point to take away. It's not like Cayla's going, well, when I look at my schedule, I shouldn't join that mastermind because I can't meet all of I can't attend all their groups. That's looking at something at a very, in a very small way. You need to look at it from a bigger picture, and it's the quality of time that you get and the people from when you are at the group. So if people want to explore this more and see what your mastermind is all about and see if they could do the application process with you. I don't know if that's still open. Is that still open?
It's still open. So if they want to go to mommymillionaire.co/mastermind, they can fill out the application and we can hop on a call and see if you're a good fit.
Now, what if they just aren't a good fit for this year? What happens so that they don't, what happens? Is it sorry?
Nope. So we'll get on the phone with them and basically we try to find out more about your business. So we read an application and then we kind of go, oh, if I look at the application and say this person's not going to be a good fit this year, I have one of my team members get on the phone and walk them through the other steps. So the other steps could be that you just invest in our Mommy Millionaire Blueprint course, which is a do-it-yourself course, and it's lifetime access. Really helps you. If you're in the beginning stages of your business, it will teach you everything. If you literally do everything I say in those modules, you can make 6 figures. Easy. Okay. Teach you Instagram marketing, sales, everything for only $497. It's like a steal, but I priced it like that because I wish somebody would have given this to me 7.5 years ago. It would have got me to my first million in half the time. Okay. So that's why I put it in there. And then there's other options to work with me too. So I do some private coaching. I also do VIP days. So if it's a business that I'm like, this isn't going to be a mastermind type thing, but if you want me to come in and evaluate your team and your leadership processes and your sales process, I'll come in and do a VIP day with you. So we offer different things. Just like I do sales workshops, I do lots of different things. And so we'll find out what's best for you. We always keep our customer and our client, what's going to be best for you.
Right. It's not a one size fits all. And that goes back to whatever your business is, network marketing, whatever it is. It's not a one size fits all. It's about what is customized and what works best for that person at that time in their life. Well, I, for one, learned a ton.
Yay!
And so I imagine you guys listening learned a ton. If you have any follow-up questions from the episode, just DM at Cayla.craft or DM me at ProjectME with Tiffany. And if you want us to go over any points or you have any follow-up questions, please do that because we want you to feel like you really understand the information we were giving you today. Does that work for you, Cayla?
100%. I always do that. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, it was so great having you on. I know we could talk forever, but I really appreciate your time, your energy, all of it.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me on. It was a blast.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.